Eivor, you have awakened. With more to share, I hope.
I returned to Asgard.
And what did you see?
There was a betrayal. I betrayed my friend Tyr. I stood by as the Great Wolf mauled him, tearing his arm off at the joint. I could have said something to prevent it, given him a warning. But I did nothing.
How did it feel?
I was unmoved by his pain. Not hateful, but I did not regret my indifference. A swig of poison that drinks like wine.
Selfishness unmeasured often feels this way. What else did you see?
I bound the wolf Fenrir, Loki's son, with an unbreakable cord. The beast was enraged by my actions. We fought and I prevailed, but I could not kill the beast.
You visit lore and legend. Things I would never have imagined to be real. Parables, yet here you live them as memories.
Every moment there was as tactile and as vital as you and I seated in this hut.
This is wonderful. Was there more?
I witnessed a final vision from the Nornir, the coming of Ragnarok. All was fire and ash, a chaos like a foul wind from the depths of Ginnungagap. But we were ready for the coming storm. 8 of us. We drank the mead, then stood and marched to our doom. That was the end of the Nornir's prophecy.
How curious. Was there more?
I can make sense of no more.
I see. The thrust of these visions seem clear to me. As in your first reverie, a fear of betrayal hangs upon you. Odin has seen fit to gift you with his infinite knowledge, and the treasure of his experience. Perhaps his tale is a warning. The indifference he felt is a great pity. See that you do not follow this same road. To do so would risk a loneliness, a personal exile, worse than death.
I understand. Or, I hope I do. Thank you, Valka. I should talk to Hagner. You're a good boy.
Hi, Eivor. Hey, du, Eivor.
Jorvik is now free of the Order's influence.
Brilliant as ever, my friend. Thank you for all you have done. Ah, here is something for you. An odd letter arrived a few days ago, signed by one calling himself...
A poor fellow soldier of Christ.
That's right. Someone you know.
Not by sight, but this soldier has intimate knowledge of the Order. He's the reason I have found them so easily in the cities.
The letter says you must travel to Wincestre, visit God's house and look for a man in white. Then recite this passage. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly cometh wisdom.
All right. I'll speak with Randvi, get a fuller picture of all this.
Do you need something?
I have to go.
Then go in peace.
I want to see the Alliance map. Hytham received a message from Wincestre, from someone calling himself a poor fellow soldier of Christ.
Your hidden ally. Very interesting. More targets, I assume.
Yes. So what do you think? Could it be a trap?
As a West Saxon stronghold, Wincestre will be a rather unwelcome place for you. But that is nothing you cannot handle. If you go, do not go boldly.
I'll make my way to Winchester. The letter asked me to meet a man in white at a house of God, and then recite this phrase. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly cometh wisdom.
A passage from their holy book, I believe. Interesting. Go with care.
Need to cloak myself here.
They call me Milborg the Miracle Legs. Come on! Someone must be brave enough to challenge me.
Hello and welcome. Nothing else?
I must be on my way now. Goodbye.
Who dares to challenge the great Nilfberg? Give 'em fleet!
The seat of King Alfred's power, where hawkshit stains my boots. I will find the man in white in their god's house. What do you see?
Jump, little...
What is that boy doing all the way up there?
Don't get you, Grubkin! If he falls, God will punish you!
Have a look, Sunan. This must be the house of their timid god. They built him a rich dwelling.
Eivor. He is not with God. He is locked in the flaming crypt where all heretics go.
Hush, they'll hear you.
Paterna sunt, tales enem voluntantum Dei. Singulus rebus longe.
Even the mighty fall. And God? A Dane treads the cobbles of God's house. In search of Christ's redemption, I hope.
Your Christ can wait his turn. It's you I've come to see.
Is that so?
When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly cometh wisdom. You know these words, and you know why I speak them.
I do, but I am not yet satisfied that you are the one for the task ahead. As Jesus said unto Thomas, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Speak the deeds of Christ in order. Only then will you cometh unto my Lord.
If I must dance to your tune, tell me where to step.
In books one may find such wisdom. We had many in England, before the Danes burned our churches. A few yet remain nearby. Or perhaps a more pious soul in need of charity will reward you with a lesson.
I have nothing for you now, but I will return.
Even the mighty fall, and God's servant, the Bishop Eivor, was mighty indeed in defense of his God.
He bathed in the river, so a gentle wash brings them closer to their god. He rose from the dead, and Nice trick, and not easily done. Their god brings them light, just as Baldur does. Light as bright as the summer sun.
Speak the deeds of Christ in order.
On the mountain, his face shone like the sun, and he became light.
His transfiguration.
God breathed on the water, and in the Jordan River, he was cleansed of all sin.
His baptism.
The women came with offerings, but they could not find him when they looked among the dead.
His resurrection. Thou art weighed in the balances, and found wanting. Perhaps you should try again. Speak his story, in order.
On the mountain, his face shone like the sun, and he became light.
His transfiguration.
God breathed on the water, and in the Jordan River, he was cleansed of all sin.
His baptism.
The women came with offerings, but they could not find him when they looked among the dead.
His resurrection. Thou art weighed in the balances, and found wanting. Perhaps you should try again. Speak his story, in order.
The women came with offerings, but they could not find him when they looked among the dead.
His resurrection.
God breathed on the water, and in the Jordan River, he was cleansed of all sin.
His baptism.
On the mountain, his face shone like the sun, and he became light.
His transfiguration. Thou art weighed in the balances, and found wanting. Perhaps you should try again. Speak his story, in order.
God breathed on the water, and in the Jordan River, he was cleansed of all sin.
His baptism.
The women came with offerings, but they could not find him when they looked among the dead.
His resurrection.
On the mountain, his face shone like the sun, and he became light.
His transfiguration. Thou art weighed in the balances, and found wanting. Perhaps you should try again. Speak his story, in order.
I am no Christian. I do not know your stories.
Then return when you no longer languish in a pit of ignorance. Has his light brought illumination to your darkness? Speak his story.
God breathed on the water, and in the Jordan River, he was cleansed of all sin.
His baptism.
On the mountain, his face shone like the sun, and he became light.
His transfiguration.
The women came with offerings, but they could not find him when they looked among the dead.
His resurrection. And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. Well spoken.
Are the riddles done?
That is not for me to decide, for I am not the one who summoned you. If you follow, I will lead you to him.
I solved your riddle, and all I get is silence. Who am I to meet?
Shh. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise.
Yet men become wise by speaking with other men. They grow foolish when keeping to silence.
Hush. Your prattling offends God's ears.
We're here.
May Christ, whose terror scares away the foul throngs, make with me a strong covenant. Was God's lesson instructive?
Do all the priests in Wincestre have this same skill for drama? You risk your life, Alfred King.
I have invited you here to speak on equal terms. Do the Dane laws of hospitality not apply in Wessex?
You gifted my Jarl to that whelp from the Order of Ancients, the warrior Fulke.
Fulke was an enemy of Wessex, but it seems someone has already removed her threat from my lands.
If you did not hear it was me, you have now.
Impressive. The Order of Ancients has surely been crippled by her loss.
How much do you know of this order?
Only this and little more. This letter, signed by one who calls himself a poor fellow soldier of Christ, warns of a plot against my life.
The gallows, the quill, the Sikhs. Free men eager to kill you.
2 now. The Bishop Eilfirth is dead. He was the Sikhs, so far as I can tell.
And a humble servant of your god. That must sting.
Still, his death has strengthened Christian fellowship in Winchester. I pray the deaths of his colleagues will do the same.
You have faced warriors like me many times before, and many times you have lost or been cheated. Why trust me now?
I have men in London and Jorvik. Men who send me reports on the rise and fall of the tides of war. Not long ago, men and women of some influence were murdered in those places. In oddly specific circumstances. When I received this letter from our poor fellow soldier, it did not take long to work out why. I don't know your motive, nor what you hope to gain. All I ask is that you finish the work you have begun, before these fallen souls infest England further.
I should let the Order kill you. It would speed our conquest of England.
You may remove the organs of state. The cancer will remain.
Then promise me a reward I can sing about. A healthy king's weight in silver.
Very well. As much as you can carry. This morning, my Reve, Goodwin, was not at his post.
A man you trust?
Goodwin was following the clues given in this letter when he disappeared.
Where was he last seen?
At his house, by the West Gate. You may find something there. Eivor, compose yourself while you are my guest. My city is not a battlefield.
Not yet, great king, but the day will come. I need to find this Reve, Goodwin.
Winchestre mourns a good bishop and a strong, virile man. May he find his peace with God.
Goodwin gone, and guards sniffing around. So where would they have taken him? Papers thrown on the fire. Goodwin covering his tracks, or the guards destroying evidence. Broken bowls, food scattered. They took him by force. There must be a garrison in the city. A violent struggle with the guards. They must have taken him to Winchester's garrison. I must be careful now. Jammed. Need to get on the other side. listeners might know something.
Bless you.
Felling trees, chiseling rock from the earth, and for what? To build more prisons for men who steal apples.
Oh, Jesus! Help! Help!
I am looking for the Reve.
Selwyn? That bastard said I stole an apple. He'll see me hang for it.
Not Selwyn.
I was
Reeve
starving.
Goodwin
My
was
baby son
arrested
close
not
to
long
death.
ago.
Would you not
Alfred's now
steal to save your
arrested?
child?
Now that's as funny as a dose of the pox. Seems no one is free in Winchester.
Dame Reavers! Rouse yourselves! For your scalp!
What see you, old friend? Show me. Thick walls and thicker guards. A place to keep a valuable man.
What's that about?
Selwyn ordered executions for petty theft and mudslinging. A husband and wife to be carried out soon.
A Dane in Winchester? These are strange times.
King Alfred sent me, pleading from his bended knee to find someone.
I know Alfred well enough to spot a bloody lie when I hear it. If he did send you, he was standing tall and proud.
That he was, and you are the man I've come to find, Goodwin. Do you know why?
If I had one guess, to find these heretics from the Order of Ancients, and bury them so deep, even God would need a shovel.
So where do we start digging?
My research should help us. If they haven't burned it already, it'll be somewhere nearby.
I will find your research. Now go, before they find their wolf has fled his cage.
Let's regroup beyond the walls!
Must be blocked from the other side. Goodwin's research against the Order of Ancients.
I am grateful for your help.
It's a brazen move to arrest Alfred's favored Reve.
This so-called order are nothing but defiled shit peddlers.
Shit peddlers who have wormed their way into every crevasse of your country. They're dangerous.
I didn't catch your name, did I?
Eivor of the Raven clan. Scourge of Mercia, if that name doesn't rattle some recognition.
Well, Eivor, when our three heretics smolder on a heap of ash, we'll down a cup of ale together and share our distaste of Mercians like old friends.
Alfred believes at least one is dead. Your Bishop Aelfirth was the Sikhs.
Bugger. Half of Wincestre is in mourning for that nun-groper.
One calls himself the Quill. Are words his weapons?
There were rumors of letters nailed up around Winchester. It may be that one of these can tell us more.
The gallows? What do you know of him?
Must be another Reve, I'm sure of it. Only we have the power to mete out justice, and this one would walk with cocksure righteousness.
Is Selwyn a name you know? He seems to have judged and executed many for little more than stealing ale and bread.
Of course! That hedge pig has brought down laws like a hammer on Winchester, executing sinners on spurious charges in the square.
Could it be another?
He's the man. He's the only one who fits. End his terror, Eivor.